What did you think was missing from Manchester United tonight, Roy?
Ollie looks a bit shell-shocked there. I think it's been a tough few days. The performance tonight, nowhere near good enough. On the back of the Leicester result, when you start playing your squad players you think are good enough to get Man United back to winning league titles, absolutely no way. I think all United's shortcomings have been shown up in the last couple of days. And tonight, just not enough quality. Ollie's mentioned there, giving such bad goals away. But the other worry, again, I think Liverpool could have scored 6 or 7. We've praised United the last few months, but this squad is so short of competing, I think, with Man City to win the title. And it's just been, all their shortcomings have been shown up the last few days. And that's why I think Ollie found it really difficult to even speak there. I think he's shell-shocked from the 4 goals tonight and even the poor performance the other night against Leicester.
But is that schedule not a factor, Roy?
Well, I think when you're playing for a big club, you have to accept that. You're going to play a lot of games. You're going to be playing 2-3 games a week. But he made changes the other night. It's not as if he's asked players to play 2 games in 48 hours. But when the performance against Leicester, they'd one shot on target in 90 minutes. And these are the players who are your backup players, your squad players. But the squad players have shown to be short, particularly if you compare them with Man City. And that's who you have to compare them about, because that's who you're competing against. But I think Man City are so far ahead of this United squad, it's scary. And I think Ollie will reflect the last few days and think, we need 3 or 4 big players to come into this club in the summer. 3 or 4 at least. And of course, we all know that's easier said than done. The recruitment's got to be right. He's got to be given money to spend. I just look at the performance tonight of the 2 midfielders. McTominay is a good, honest player. They got Fred. As long as them 2 players are playing in midfield for Manchester United, they will not be winning any big trophies. OK, they've got the Europa League final in a few weeks. They're only not fine because they come up short in the Champions League. Now, let's not be kidded on by that either. I'm really, the last few days I can't believe how short Man United are. And Ollie mentioned it again tonight about they're chasing the game. They need a goal. They bring Matic on instead of Van de Beek. It's not good enough.
They've spent £1 billion, close to £1 billion net in 8 years since Fergie packed it in here. And I think that is as much to do with the anger that the supporters are showing that they're not sitting top of the league. They're not, in a European, the Champions League final. And I think what Roy is saying, you got your second string against Leicester. Didn't look very good. You've rested your strongest 11 as you see it. Not very good again tonight. And it's, the scenario for Man U, I'm sort of rub it in, it couldn't get any worse for them. Last year, Liverpool, arguably their biggest rivals, historically, win the league. Year before that, Liverpool won the European Cup. So they're seeing this football being played. This year, 5-6 miles, is it 5 miles, 4 miles from here? You've got a team that's won the league and could possibly win the Champions League. And I think there's a lot of anger born out of that. It's not just about the Glaziers, it's about where this group of players that are here at Man United right now, they're not good enough.
Well, they would say they were making progress on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, you said at the top of the show, you said to Roy, good news about Cavani signing a new contract. He's 34. Now, good news for Man United fans would be they're making a real effort and a real statement and going by Harry Kane. That would be really good news. Cavani keeps Man United in the top 4. Kane could possibly win you the league. They talk about recruitment. Yeah, recruitment's important. I hear less and less about development. I hear less about improving players. I hear about less, about the academy. Can you bring players through?
Well, there's Mason Greenwood. He's not doing too badly.
No, exactly. But
Marcus
that's
Rashford as well.
what I'm saying. So they are there. You haven't got to keep buying buying players all the time. There must
Jamie,
be players
time is not your friend when you're a manager of a big football club. What about them?
Yeah, but they're good players.
They're good enough. They're good enough to play for Man United, and they'll only get better.
But the answer isn't always buying players, Graham.
Man United
you bought in Van der Beek for 40 million. What's he done?
Well, I'll come back to it. The Glaziers are much criticised, and we've gone over that argument many, many times. Where I see Man United's problems since Fergie's packed it in, and David Gill went, the owners have said to Ed Woodward, the money's there. And they'll give plenty of money to a succession of managers. But Ed Woodward, or whoever was making the football decisions, were not football people. And that's why they've ended up spending net close to £1 billion, and they've got a group of players that they've got. And that's not the Glaziers' problem. They have made money available. Yeah, they've taken big dividends. But if it was a case of taking dividends and then that money not being forthcoming for the managers, I get that argument. I'd get that argument because I've been a manager. But if you're a manager of Man United in the last 8 years, you cannot say that the Glaziers have not funded you.
But the fans would talk about the fact that they bought the club with debt and so on, and
but
taking
that's
money
not-
out of the football
that-
club. And we had this
But
discussion
that's not
the
illegal,
other day,
David.
Graham.
That is a fact of business life. Leverage, you can do that. This Man United, the interest rates are the lowest that historically they've ever been. You go back to the early 90s, they're up to close to 15%. So right now, being leveraged isn't the end of the world. Man United, arguably the biggest football club in the world.
But you can't.
I'm not saying it's
You
a
can't
perfect...
tell Manchester United fans to be happy if they're not happy. They're not
No, I'm
happy with
I'm
this
not.
ownership,
It's not
and they're
my
never
argument.
going to be,
That's
Graham.
not my
That's pretty
argument,
clear.
But I'm saying, if on football terms, if I had been a manager here in the last 8 years, I, as a football man, as a football manager, could not complain about the money I've been given to spend. And I don't think any manager who's been here in that period since Fergie went can say they've not supported me.
Jose was pretty unhappy.
Well,
That's
he
another
spent-
argument.
Jose
But we
spent
talk
plenty.
about progression for Man United, and I've given Ollie plenty of praise over the last 12 months, and some of the players progression, but finishing second is still not good enough
What
for Man
about
United.
winning Europa League final as well?
No, that would have been the